Hey everybody, Mike at Undiscovered Classics, and today we're going to be giving you an overview of the exhibit currently running at the Savoy Museum in Cartersville, Georgia, the Barn Find exhibit. This was co-curated by a good friend of ours, Tom Cotter, the Barn Find hunter, and I'm going to take you through each of the 5 cars featured in the exhibit, which includes one of our own cars, the Packard Monte Carlo concept car Convertible. The exhibit's currently running and actually concludes a week from today, so if you're thinking about going to the Savoy Museum or if you're down that way already, make sure you get over there in the next week. I want to thank Blake and the team at the Savoy Museum for providing all of the videography for this as well. So make sure you get down there and see these cars in person before the exhibit closes a week from today. As far as schedule for future videos, I'm hoping to get back on some type of routine, maybe every 2 weeks again, maybe every 3 or 4, I don't know. I had a lot of time that I needed to spend on this thing, getting it roadworthy, so this will be the subject of a future video, maybe the next one. So stay tuned. I'll keep posting them on Sundays. Maybe it might not be regular, but that's the day to look out for them. So thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for longtime subscribers and those that might be new to the channel. And if you're watching this and enjoying it and you aren't subscribed, please do hit that button. It certainly helps a lot get our cars out there further into the YouTube sphere. Thanks very much. Enjoy the video.
As soon as you walk into the corner of the museum where the Barn Find exhibit is currently on, you're greeted by this wonderful 1954 Corvette, owned by Jamie Waters, who lives in Brewster, New York. Jamie has a soft spot in his collector's heart for primarily unrestored chrome bumper Corvettes just like this one. After languishing on a property in Pennsylvania since 1975, he struck a deal to purchase this one 8 years ago. A 1960s-era paint job covered the original pennant blue, which makes this car just one of 300 originally painted that color that left the St. Louis factory. The car's standard automatic transmission was retrofitted with a 3-speed manual for drag racing prior to 1960. When purchased, the car was essentially complete, except some restoration was going to be required. An original sand beige trunk mat and side curtain bags were found, but the car's seats were too far gone, so they were recovered. Jamie regularly drives his Corvette, and on an outing to Sunday at the Park at Lime Rock Historic Festival in 2021, the car won Best in Class for GM and related brands. Technical specifications include a 235 cubic inch inline 6 with overhead valves, putting out 150 horsepower. It did come with a Power Glide automatic, but like I said, it was retrofitted with a 3-speed manual. It has a wheelbase of 102 inches, an overall length of 167 inches, a curb weight of 2,705 pounds, and a reported top speed of 102 miles per hour. In 1954, just 3,640 of these cars were produced, and the original price was $3,523. Often cited as America's first sports car, in fact, there were no less than 50 other car companies producing fiberglass sports car bodies prior to the debut of the Corvette. While the Corvette was technically the first one to reach production, therefore making it America's first production sports car, the Kaiser Darren actually announced prior to the Corvette, but couldn't beat it to the punch for being available in the fall of 1953. Next in the exhibit is our very own 1949 Packard Monte Carlo Super 8 convertible. This is a car that Jeff has had for many years, and its original origins were unknown for quite some time. The origins of this car were murky at best when Jeff bought it, and after years of research and consulting with other Packard historians and experts, a verifiable story has begun to emerge. Jeff actually did a series of articles in Old Cars Weekly over the course of 4 different installations, which are all available online. Additionally, he actually put together a comprehensive book detailing the production of this car, the history of Henny Motor Company, and how this car ties into the Packard Monte Carlo hardtop concept car. Unlike today, it wasn't unusual for designers to create a car and then market their idea to a manufacturer. Henny Motor Car Company exclusively produced Packards, and the company's new owner, Charles Russell Feldman, had something special in mind. Former GM stylist Richard R. Beebe designed this special car based on Packard's existing 22 Series Super 8 convertible. Why exactly the car was created still remains a mystery. Was it a halo car meant to draw in buyers to the showroom? Would the Monte Carlo become a spin-off like the Continental? Was this one dealer's attempt to provide buyers with an exclusive custom car? Or was it simply Henny's attempt to sell a new design to their client? While the actual origin of the car being produced might not be known, Jeff goes into great detail within his book that absolutely confirms this was done by the Henny Motor Car Company. Special thanks to our friend Robin James, who actually spent quite some time getting this car roadworthy, and it's actually fully road legal and been taken around the block several times by Robin and Jeff. Technical specifications include a 327-inch cubic inline 8, putting out 145 horsepower with a 3-speed manual transmission including overdrive. The car has a wheelbase of 120 inches with an overall length of 211 inches and a curb weight of 4,700 pounds. Top speed reported of 90 miles an hour, and of course this is the only one produced, unless of course you include the Packard Monte Carlo hardtop concept produced the same year by Henny and Arbib. Next up is a car owned by the barn find hunter himself, a 1952 Cunningham C3. Between 1952 and 1954, the Cunningham C3 was the most expensive car being built in America. Briggs Cunningham built this limited edition vehicle to homologate his race cars for the 24 Hours of Le Mans in France. This specific car won both the 1952 Concours d'Elegance in Watkins Glen, as well as the one in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. It was also featured in the Museum of Modern Art's 1952 Automobiles catalog, which showcased the museum curator's selection of the 10 most beautiful cars worldwide. One of the other cars included is the 1947 Cisitalia 202 Coupe, which is the original version of the car you saw at the beginning of the video, which ultimately became the Allied Swallow. Through multiple owners, the car arrived in Florida via Kentucky, and a honeymooning Greenville, South Carolina man discovered it on a Sarasota, Florida car lot. It was located in the Greenville area for 50 years and it only changed hands 5 times but was never driven. Tom Cotter got a lead and found it in a Greenville basement, and after 3 years he was able to acquire the car. He refurbished it mechanically but not cosmetically and notes, quote, "It does everything poorly, but it tries awfully hard." Technical specifications include a 331 cubic inch V8 Hemi with overhead valves, outputting 220 horsepower at 4,000 RPM, mated to a 3-speed manual transmission. It has a wheelbase of 105 inches, an overall length of 171 inches, and a curb weight of 2,800 pounds. Top speed is reported to be 125 miles per hour, and this is one of 25 that were produced, with an original price ranging between $9,000 and $10,000. They rarely come up for sale, but one is actually being auctioned by worldwide auctioneers later this month on August 30th. Here's the fourth of the 5 cars on exhibit here, the 1964 Lancia Flavia PF Coupe. Named for Fiat race car driver Vincenzo Lancia, this Flavia, named for a stretch of the ancient Roman highway network, is a Pininfarina-styled notchback coupe. The car's original owner was NART, the North American Racing Team, the U.S. Ferrari importer in New York. The next owner, Rod Kennedy, owner of the Texas Speed Museum, entered the car into a 24-hour Mexican rally. After 8 hours, the car dropped out when the water pump failed. The car still wears the livery from the rally in Mexico, including the tourist visa on the side window. Kennedy owned the car for 10 years, but the next 30 years are a mystery. In 1995, somebody brought the car to a Pittsburgh junkyard for scrap. The Lanchia Consortium purchased it, and initially the current owner, Michael Kristick, and his father decided not to buy it, but later, when he learned it would be scrap, Mike had a change of heart and ended up bringing it home. Technical specifications are 110 cubic inch 4-cylinder with a light alloy block, putting out 92 horsepower. It's mated to a 4-speed manual transmission. The wheelbase is 98 inches. The overall length is 177 inches, with a curb weight somewhere between 2,200 and 2,300 pounds, and a reported top speed of 115 miles per hour. Total number produced this year were 19,293, and the original price ranged between $5,000 and $5,300. Last but not least, and sure to be a crowd favorite, we have a 1965 Shelby Mustang GT350. Originally conceived by Ford Motor Company in Shelby, America, the 1965 Shelby Mustang GT350's primary purpose was winning races. Both companies were worried that the minimum 100 streetcar sales that were needed to qualify the car for the racetrack might not be met. However, sales topped 562 vehicles, and it became evident that there was a consumer market for Shelby Mustangs. Could Shelby American rework a car designed for the racetrack into a street-legal machine? Strong customer sales demanded that changes be made. Customers complained about the stiff suspension and the too loud exhaust pipes placed ahead of the rear wheels, which garnered owners in both New York and California citations for equipment. Instead of a race car, buyers wanted a street-legal vehicle with race car looks. As a result, the 1966 Shelby Mustang underwent major design changes. This car is equipped with a Ford 9-inch rear, 3.89 Detroit locker rear end, and tri-Y headers with side exhaust. Technical specifications include a 289 cubic inch high-powered cast iron V8, putting out 306 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, mated to a Borg-Warner 4-speed manual transmission. The wheelbase is 108 inches, the overall length is 181 inches, with a total curb weight of 2,800 pounds and a top speed reported at 133 miles an hour. Total number produced for this year were 562, with an original price of $4,547.